We're live. I hope.
I hope.
Let's make sure.
Yeah, I'm checking Patreon right now.
It's like, no, it's taking a second. Hello.
Here we are.
Hello.
I see us.
There we go. I had to mute myself. I got to hear myself. Hi, guys. Hello.
Hi. Happy June.
Happy June. If you are here with us, leave a comment in the box down there. The box. And
right down there.
Tell us who's here.
Yep, let us know. I'm not digging this back and forth thing that Google Hangouts has us doing.
No, I don't like it.
I feel like it's like a strobe. Because I'm looking at it on Patreon and it's like Aaron, Kirsten, Aaron, Kirsten, Aaron, Kirsten. It's really kind of obnoxious. So we're sorry about that. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out an alternative for future trainings. It's very distracting watching you dance on the other screen.
Sorry about it.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry about it.
Sorry, not sorry.
So I think, can you find where Sandra, I think I'm logged in as my patron self instead of us.
Right.
Are you logged in as us?
Yeah, I'm logged in as us.
Okay. I think Nana commented asking where the training is. Can you tag her or something maybe?
I can.
So she can find us.
How you tag people in this?
I don't know. I don't know if you can. So
I
maybe
don't think you can.
Maybe you can find where she commented that and just let her know to go to the main all posts and she'll see us.
Okay.
Okay. We'll get started in a few minutes, guys.
To the main post page. We're live.
Yep. And just a quick refresher, if you were not here or maybe you forgot since the April training, you have to watch it on the actual Wit and Wisdom Patreon page to see everybody's comments.
Yes. If you click over to YouTube, you'll still be able to see the training, but you won't be able to see the comments. And we're not going to be monitoring the comments there on YouTube.
Right.
Not live.
And also, if you are watching, like when you first log into Patreon, you'll see it there. Like it'll say all posts and it'll show you this video, but you have to actually click into Dollar Boss Club and see the post there. It's kind of hard to explain. When you first log into Patreon, you see everything that you're a patron for. Dollar Boss Club and anything else. It'll show all right there.
They are not patrons for anything but us.
You want to get just into Dollar Boss Club and watch the video that way. And then you can leave comments. You can respond to other people's comments. You can see what everybody else is posting. And we can communicate with you a little bit easier that way. So hopefully that makes sense. And if I need to screen share to explain that, I can do that.
Frances says all she sees is my logo image. So I just told her to refresh the page. If you guys can't see, if you can hear us, refresh the page. I can see it on the page. Kirsten can see it on the page. So just click into the actual post.
And you'll be able to see it.
You can see it on your end, right?
I can.
Okay, good. Just making sure I'm not like saying
and I am going to comment here.
Untrue things. We're telling lies about how to access.
The logo image. Okay, so hopefully that will work. So we'll give everybody a few minutes to get in. I know with it being summer and with it being evening, it can take a few minutes for people to pop in.
Yeah. Summertime. Oh, okay. Frances says she's refreshed 3 times. Sandra, you're here. Hello.
Yeah, you won't be able to see the comment section on your phone, Sandra, because the video takes up the whole screen. So we learned that last time, and it's a bit frustrating, but that's just kind of how Patreon is. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. We are going to be probably making some changes before the next training, because there's some things that we love about Patreon and there's some things that we don't love about Patreon. So we'll talk more about that later on tonight, but we figured the summertime is a good time to make those changes.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully if you're trying to watch this on mobile, just know that you won't be able to comment. And that sucks. If you have questions, maybe you can pop onto your computer or whatever, and leave those questions. But if you're just going to watch it, you can watch it on mobile, and that's totally fine. But you have to be on desktop to actually engage with us. So yeah. Okay. Roxana's on. Yeah, Roxana said the same thing. She's on her phone, so it takes you to YouTube.
Can watch, but just can't comment.
Which is no bueno, man. You would think Patreon would have it figured out. I mean, come on, man.
And this we're looking at revamping on this particular front.
It is thundering. Can you hear that?
I hear nothing.
Okay, good. It's thundering really loudly here. It's been really like every day this week, we've had this massive thunderstorm come in the evening.
I mean, that's good for sleeping. But
not when you have 3 dogs that are all terrified of the thunder.
Also true.
They just sit up and pant the whole time.
True. Yeah. Yeah. We had last week on vacation when we did 2 nights in a camper. And we had a thunderstorm one night, and one child thought we were going to be blown away like Dorothy, and we were going to perish or be sent to Oz or something. I don't know, but he wailed till like 2 a.m. He was like, "Oh yeah, Mom, please." Aww. I was like, "Can you go to sleep, please?" It's fine. Do you think I would take you somewhere you'd get blown away?
It's fine.
It's
really
fine. Deal with it. No. All right.
Should we get started?
Are we ready?
I think so.
I'm stoked for this. I
know you are.
This is my favorite topic in the
jam
wide world. Okay, friends.
I'm getting my little side-by-side screen so I can see the comments and you.
Because you must see me.
I must.
You must. It is the nature of our relationship. Okay.
We're practically married. We've said it before.
Practically married in every way. There we go. So, we're talking about video for business today.
Yay!
Yay! And we love video. It's like our second love to podcast, right? Like,
for sure. Love it. Yeah.
For sure. And I talked to you guys a little bit on yesterday. Was it yesterday?
I think it was, yeah.
I think it was yesterday about some of the new stuff happening in the video world and why I wanted you guys to be at this training, because there are some big things happening in the video world. And now we're going to get to dig into how to create incredible content for your business and how to make it fun and engaging and why it's important and all of that jazz. And by the end of this training, if you're not as pumped as I am about video, then I don't even know. I can't even, there aren't even words. Aren't even words. So if at any point you have any questions about video, post them in the comments if you can, and we'll either answer them if we can in the moment, or we will answer them at the end, because it's 90 minutes of training and 30 minutes of Q&A. So if we don't answer you right away, just know one of us has it, and we're going to answer it at the end. So I think that's my peppy intro. My peppy words. You ready?
Ready.
We are going to start at the beginning. Why video is important for your business, because so many people are just like, meh, I don't need to do it. And It's kind of rare that we tell you that you need to do something. And this is one of those things that we often say, you need to do this.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely one of those things where it's kind of a non-negotiable at this point.
It really is.
If you have a business that is dependent on being found online, whether it's on social media or through Google search or on Pinterest or whatever, you pretty much have to do video. I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of a non-negotiable at this point. If you haven't noticed, maybe you've been living under a rock for a while or whatever, but if you haven't noticed, video is kind of taking over the internet, right? We've got Facebook Live, we have social video, we have the new IGTV, we have Instagram stories and Instagram Live. YouTube is the second largest search engine, second only to Google. And guess who owns YouTube? Google. Pinterest now has the option to upload videos directly to Pinterest. Video is going nowhere, my friend. So if you are not doing video, you need to be. It's one of those things. There are very few things, like Erin said, that will tell you you have to do. But if you want your business to grow, you have to do video. It's just kind of a thing you need to do.
Yep. It's a trend that has been steadily growing since like 2015. And I had thought maybe at some point it would kind of steady out, but it's not. And there are a lot of changes happening in the video world that have really indicated how important video is to the average consumer. And that's really what this is all about. This isn't about making it easier for you. It's not about, you know, putting yourself in front of a camera because people are like nosy. It's just that people are consuming video content more easily and more readily than any other type of content, because the nature of man right now is, how much can I do at once? And it's really hard to read a blog post while you're cooking dinner, but it's super simple to throw a video on while you're cooking dinner or while you're doing your makeup. If you look at your audience right now, 10 to 1, they're telling you that they're watching videos that, you know, that apply to their life in some way, shape, or form while they're doing other tasks that allow them to focus on something else as well. We are multitasking. So the best way to make the most of that behavior is to jump on board with that video making and content creation and whatnot. And the other thing is that social media platforms and like big brands are seeing this as well. And they're partnering with video and content creators and Facebook and all of that. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. If you are watching Facebook videos now, there are now in-video ads in the middle of Facebook videos, which I think is, number one, annoying because I'm like in the middle of watching people fall down and then it's like ad starting in 5, 4, 3. And I'm like, great. But this tells me that brands and businesses are starting to really, dig into that world. They're starting to understand that the consumer wants more video and they're putting their efforts there. So if I were a blogger or any kind of business owner and I was hoping to make some passive income, that would be another reason why I would want to start doing video, because those ads are going to get put in videos. People aren't going to be paying for as many ads in other places if they're guaranteed to have ads in their videos.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, people just consume videos easier. Like Erin was saying, you don't necessarily read blog posts as much anymore. People are still blogging. Blogging is not dead. And I don't think blogging ever will be dead. I think there's always going to be a need for the written word and a desire for the written word. But video is so easily consumable. And a lot of times with the whole multitasking thing, we'll put video on and just listen to it while we do other things. We've actually had a lot of people in our own community tell us that they do that with our videos. You know, even if they're just the short little tutorial things, or when we were uploading our full podcast episode as a video, people would watch the video, but they'd really just be listening and then doing something else. So video is not going anywhere. Video is something that is so easy for people to consume, and it's also easy for people to share.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many times in a week I send a video to Erin.
At least twice.
At least. And I mean, I see them on Instagram and I'll save them to show my daughter, like cute little animal videos and stuff. Video is just, it's more engaging than just a flat image. And it's more engaging in a lot of cases than the written word. So video is something that I think we feel more connected to because it's something that's got action behind it, and we can kind of, I don't know, we can engage with that a little bit more, and we can laugh at it, or we can cry with it, or we can, you know, whatever. The emotions are more there in video than in just a picture and some written words.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's kind of the thing about video. Even before video marketing was like skyrocketing, people still watched videos. You know, you still watched TV shows, you were still watching movies, you were still looking at things on YouTube, whether, I mean, they weren't probably for business at that point, but you were looking at videos. And the reason that we enjoy it is because there's a part of our brain that just really needs that connection, that human interaction. And sometimes we get it through video, especially if you are working from home, or you're a mom at home, or you're just, you know, you're by yourself, you're wanting to, you know, that's why we binge watch Netflix. We're not binge watching Netflix just because we really like the TV. It's because it helps activate a little bit of our brain that helps with like connection and engagement and just feeling like we are a part of something. And that's what Video for Business is all about, is providing that connection and providing that engagement. So one of the big reasons why video is so important is because, and I've said this 1,010,000 times, it builds that know, like, trust factor much more quickly than any other format of content, because they get to see you for you. Okay. Especially if you're live, like right now, you guys get to see who I am for real, my stutters, my stumbles, my coughs, my like wild hand gesturing. You get to see me in like almost my purest form, which means you're naturally going to be able to feel more engaged with me than if it were a still picture of me, like, and, you know, a caption that's like, hey, video is awesome. You know, you get to hear all of my tones, and that is how your audience will connect with you as well. They're going to get to know you the way they would get to know someone they just met in a coffee shop. And that connection is what keeps them coming back. That's what builds that relationship. And that relationship is what turns into sales or whatever conversion you're looking for.
So having said that, what industry should be using video, Erin?
You know, it's a really tough answer. All of them. All of them. I have heard, and how many times have you heard this, Kirsten? Video just isn't for me. My people don't want video.
I hear it all the time. I hear it a lot from bloggers more than anything. And I can speak from that perspective because I have been blogging for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very difficult as a blogger who is accustomed to creating a post full of words with images in them to switch to being on camera.
Yeah.
And it's very scary to be on camera when you're just used to sending people to a blog post and they're going to read your words and they're going to maybe pin it and look at the pretty pictures and then move on with their day. But when you actually put yourself out there, it can be scary. So a lot of bloggers are hesitant to do that, but they'll make the excuse that their readers don't want that.
Guess what?
If you look at the habits of their readers, they're watching video.
They want
They're just not watching your video because you're not creating it yet.
That's right. If you are one of those people who thinks that your audience doesn't want video, that they're not watching video, the statistics have said you are wrong. It's almost 90% of people are now consuming more video content than anything else. So unless you have that random rare person, and like the small percentage of people who are not consuming videos online are people who fit in very specific like niches, like I don't look at the TV or the internets. You know, they do not want to be a part of that world. And that's a very rare person. If you go out and poll random strangers, seriously, do it. I've done this before. I've asked people, like just random people. They'll tell you like, oh yeah, I love YouTube, or I'm watching, you know, Facebook videos, or, you know, anything. It's just the way people are now. It's just what's out there for people now. So if you're a blogger, yes, it's totally scary to have to step into something else, but you can't use your audience as an excuse, because your audience is going to go nuts if you post a video. They're going to love it.
And the good thing is, and we can talk about this a little bit more, we'll get into this, but you don't have to always be on camera to have a video for your content. So that can't be an excuse either, just because you don't feel comfortable on camera. We're going to get into all of that more in detail tonight, but I don't want you guys to make excuses. And actually, I would love, if you're watching this live, I would love it if you would tell us what your excuses are in the comments, and let's work through those tonight, because there's really not an excuse.
It's true.
And we're gonna dispel a lot of that tonight. So tell me honestly in the comments what your excuses are and why you haven't done video or why you don't do it often or whatever. And we're gonna talk about all of that stuff tonight. But whether you are, I know Frances is on here and she does accounting stuff and she does SEO and all of that. She is great for video. Roxana, you do baking. Everybody wants that on video. You know, it doesn't matter what your niche is. It doesn't matter what your business is. You can find a way to incorporate video into your content.
Amen.
Every single time. I mean, there's no excuse.
So what was your excuse when you were not doing video? You've been doing video for a long time though.
I have. I've been doing video probably since it started to become the cool thing to do. Mm-hmm. I'm not a very shy person.
She's not.
So, you know, you guys have known me. I mean, I was like, yeah, I'll do a podcast. And here we are 2 years later, still podcasting. So when video became kind of the thing, I was like, sure, I'll do video and it's not a big deal, but it was still scary. I mean, it's still very different, like I said, from the written word. So for me, I think initially the hang up was having to just be on to do the video, you know, like I have to kind of be made up a little bit and look decent and know what my words are going to be. And then the other hang up for me was the equipment, because especially a few years ago when video started to kind of become the thing, mm-hmm. there wasn't a lot of resources. There weren't very many resources out there that told me how to get started and how to work through all of the tech stuff. So I kind of had to figure that out on my own. Mm-hmm. Because you guys, I mean, if you guys have played around with that, just to do a Facebook Live, there's a little bit of tech involved. And I know we had a question in our Facebook group the other day from Casey because she wanted to do a Facebook Live with somebody else. So trying to figure out the tech behind that can be a little bit difficult. And I understand that that can be a hang up, but I don't want that to be what stops you from doing it.
Nope. Joy says that she struggles with the idea of video because she doesn't consume all that much video content. This is when, and this sounds really awful when I say stuff like this is when it's important for you to remember that your business isn't about you.
Yep.
And that is a hard thing to do, to separate, because so many times the person that you're marketing to, you feel like is a lot like you, but that's not often the case. Not completely. The people that, and it's going to vary niche to niche, of course. But 9 times out of 10, your audience, they're consuming video, and it's going to be much easier for them to understand and much easier for them to follow. So it's a challenging mindset to get out of, but it's an important mindset to get out of. Anna, the comment just came through on Patreon.
Yeah,
and that's
I told her Patreon. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Joy also said that the equipment and tech stuff is a hang up too, and it can be time consuming. And we're going to talk about all of that, and we're going to try to make it as easy for you to either start or continue to do video, because like I said, we don't want you to leave tonight with excuses. We want you to leave tonight armed with everything you need to know to get into video. And please keep in mind, we're not saying that this is something you have to do every week or couple times a week or whatever. It's going to be at whatever schedule works for you, but we definitely want you to incorporate it somehow into your business and into your content, because it will drastically improve your reachability and your engagement with your community. So
the other part is that we're also not telling you that video needs to be your main form of content.
Right.
This is a huge thing that I think people get stuck on, is they believe that if they're doing video, that needs to be their be all end all content. They need to switch gears completely. That's not the case at all. You can continue producing the content that you produce now and incorporate video here and there. And that's another thing that we're going to talk about, because if you have one video, you can turn that video into a million different things. So that is not even an excuse. You can't say like, oh, I'm not going to do it because I'm a blogger and that would mean I'm switching gears. You don't need to. You can still do what you're doing right now and just supplement it with video.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, it's like a vitamin for your content.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a vitamin for your content. It's just a boost of radiance, you know?
That's right.
It's so good. So on that note, you've got the video. We're telling you to do the video. What can you use the video for in your business aside from your main form of content? Because I think we all know There are so many people right now that YouTube, that's it. That's what they do. That's their thing. For a little while, that's what we were doing over here on top of our podcast. Every week we did a video. That video turned into a blog post, yada, yada, yada. I did the same thing for my business previously. Kirsten, I believe, was doing the same thing for hers.
Yeah.
But there are other ways to use video content.
Yes. And I mean, like we were saying, video doesn't have to be the main thing. So you kind of have to think a little bit outside the box here. One of the things that a lot of people often overlook when they think of video content and how they're going to use it for their business is to grow their email list. And, people think of like, oh, well, I'm going to let's use an example for recipe bloggers, because I see a ton of those tasty videos, They're like, okay, so I have this recipe post. I'm going to turn it into a video and I'm done, right? But what if you were to create video that you made into like a free educational series or a free somehow like training, whatever, or you just have it as your like get to know me email sequence in video form. Think of how much faster people will feel like they know you if you send them to a 3-minute video to tell them about you and your business, as opposed to sending a series of emails that does it over the course of 3 or 5 days. They're going to see you, hear you, engage with you, and they're going to remember it, because not everybody is doing that. So if they are immediately signing up for your list and they get to meet you through a video, that's huge.
It is.
And it's also something that's shareable. So they're going to be like, oh, this was such a great video. You have to watch this. And they're going to send it to their friends, and their friends are going to sign up for your email list. Or, if you create some kind of freebie for your email list, have a video that goes with it that tells them how to use it and why it's important for them to use it. And then maybe even make a follow-up video that's like, hey, have you used that thing yet? Because, we all download these free things and then never use them. So I want to make sure you're using it. Like, get people engaged with you immediately. And it's, like I said, 3 minutes. That's all it takes. 3-minute video and you're done.
Yep. And the cool thing about video with email, and this is just a side note here, so many people delete emails because they don't want to read them. Like, I don't know what's happened to human attention span, but nobody wants to sit and read an email anymore. And it has a lot to do with just people being bombarded, I believe. But if you have an email and you start that email right off the bat with a click here for the video, you can watch it instead of reading. People are going to do it. People will do it. They'll click over. I can't tell you how often when we've done videos and put them in emails, how often we've gotten responses that were like, thank you. Don't have time to read.
Yeah. And I mean, we even got that reaction when we were doing audio versions of our newsletters. Yeah. People were like, oh, this is great. We'd rather listen than read the email.
Yeah.
I mean, people they don't have a ton of time, and you are not the only person that they follow on social media or sign up for their email list or whatever. Like, there's multiple things coming in that they're trying to decide which ones are worth their time. So by you creating a video that actually serves them in some way, they're going to realize that you are worth their time, and they're going to get to know you a lot quicker because it is video, and they're going to feel instantly connected to you, as opposed to someone else in your industry sending them this chain of emails over and over again. It's just vastly different. It's a lot more engaging.
Absolutely. Roxana, I am so glad for your comment. Roxana says that her hangups would be equipment and tech as far as video content is concerned. And another issue is that she doesn't want to be on video. Because she says,
I'm just not that cute.
That's what she said. I'm not going to agree with that. So anyway, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that really brings us to our next point. A lot of time, most of the time, when people say video isn't for them, their audience isn't interested in video, they don't have time for video, it actually has nothing to do with any of those things. Like those, we just busted all of those excuses in the past like 20 minutes. We busted through all of them. The real reason that people don't like to jump into video is because of the fear factor of doing video. They're not feeling very confident. And that's one of the things that is so important to know that you can work on. You can be very confident in front of the camera. And if you're not, you can fake it.
Absolutely.
You fake it until you make it. This is one of the few times that saying actually is like, it's legit. It's real. Fake it till you make it with your video confidence. If you guys didn't know, like if I didn't tell you guys regularly that I am painfully and terribly awkwardly shy, you guys wouldn't know it. Because this is just camera, Erin, you know, and that takes practice.
It does.
So,
and that's an important point, because part of gaining that camera confidence is doing video over and over and over and over until you get comfortable with it. It's like anything else that you do in your life. The first few times you do it are going to be awkward and uncomfortable and maybe even a little painful and weird. But if you do it enough times, it's going to be second nature. You're not going to have that awkwardness anymore, because what's going to happen is you're going to have this fear the first time. Let's say you go live on Facebook, right? And you're going to be like, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. And well, I just don't know. I don't know if my hair looks good. I don't know if anybody's going to show up or whatever. And then you're going to get a couple comments from people and like, this was so fun. I'm so glad you did this. And you'll be like, oh, okay. So they don't care. This was great, right? Like, that's all you need. You need that one person or a couple people that's just like, this was awesome. And, you know, it wasn't perfect and we're not looking for perfect, because nobody is. They just want you. They want real and raw you. So give them that, you know, stop being so scared.
Absolutely.
And I mentioned this a minute ago, but you don't always have to be on camera either. So if that's like, and I know for some people that's like a legitimate fear. It's a very terrifying thing for you to turn a camera on yourself. And until you're comfortable enough to put your face on camera, just put your hands on camera. And I know, like, for Roxana, she does a lot of baking. You could easily do a baking video without physically being on camera.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at all those tasty videos that you see floating around the internet. It's just somebody's hands making the recipe. So
people love those videos.
They do.
People like food more than people. So, I mean, you got it made in the shade, girlfriend.
Yeah. And I mean, use what you have too. This is another thing, you know, with camera confidence. If you've got cute kids, or if you've got cute dogs or cats or whatever, put them on camera with you. And it kind of takes the awkwardness away from you, because you realize people aren't really focusing solely on you. They're looking at this cute kid, or they're looking at the cute puppy or the cute cat or whatever. Like, there's something else for them to focus on, but they're still listening to you. And so until you get comfortable, find something else, or maybe go to a different location that's really beautiful, that you can have this gorgeous backdrop. And it just kind of helps people focus on something else while they're still listening to you. And you get more comfortable because you're doing video. You're going to do it more and more often. And the more you do it, like I said, you'll get comfortable with it. You have to practice it.
Yeah. And it really does come with practice. And it isn't just people who have, like, a lot of people think, well, I'm such a beginner. That's what it is. That's really not what it is. Camera confidence and being shy in front of the camera is a very normal thing to feel. And finding what I'm going to call a camera crutch, like a puppy, that's something that even the pros do. I don't know if you guys know this. One of the people that I do listen to online is Amy Porterfield, and she actually has a whole podcast about how she did not want to do video because she was worried about her weight. She was worried about her appearance. So she started doing videos, and who was in like 90% of her videos? Her dog.
Yes.
Because everybody was like, oh, puppy. Nobody cared about Amy anymore. They were like, okay, Amy, that's nice. Great.
But they still heard her message.
But they still heard it. They still got what they needed without having to be looking at her. And the honest to goodness truth is that after she put those videos out there and then she stopped having her puppy in the videos, nobody was like, oh my goodness, Amy, I can't believe you did this video because your weight is just it's not good. Nobody thought that, because nobody cares about that stuff. The thing that people actually care about is what you have to offer them. And what you have to offer is of high value. So that's what you have to keep in mind, is that it's not about how you look. It's not about how you sound. It isn't even about, like, you know, how comfortable you are in front of the camera. It's about what sort of message you're going to deliver and how you're going to provide your audience with value, because that's truly what they're looking for. Some of the best YouTubers out there are terribly awkward in front of the camera, like embarrassingly so sometimes. I've watched a few videos in the past couple of days just to see what's going on in the YouTube world, since I was checked out for an entire 2 weeks. And some of the like up and coming YouTube stars are these like young kids. And when I watch them, I'm like, oh, honey. Like, from a coaching perspective, but I also find myself watching their videos a lot. It isn't about your appearance. It isn't about your voice. It's not about any of those things. It's about your message. And if you're passionate about what you believe in, you're going to be able to get in front of that camera. It's going to take practice, and I do recommend it. Pre-recorded video is always going to be easier to start with than going live. So if you're not doing video yet, start pre-recorded. Start setting, a camera up, your phone up, and just record yourself. Just get comfortable with it being in front of you. Get comfortable talking to it. That's really the part that people don't like. Which I don't understand, but it's honest to goodness the truth. When people record videos, it's not even seeing themselves that drives them crazy. It's hearing themselves.
And Frances just said that. She said she doesn't like her voice. And I want to speak to that because when I started podcasting 2 years ago, I hated listening to myself talk. And now I'll go ahead and be the narcissist in the room. I love listening to myself talk.
She talks to herself all the time.
Gary and I both listen to our own podcasts because we enjoy them. I mean, that might be a little narcissistic, and that's okay.
Slightly.
But it's taken me that long to be comfortable listening to my own voice.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm fine with it. Like, I like the way that I sound now, but I hated my voice when I first started podcasting. I hated how I looked on camera. I thought I looked like a complete dork, which I still do, but I'm fine with it. Like, it's not weird anymore. You have to get over yourself. Really. Because what you find annoying about yourself, nobody else is even going to pay attention to. And in most cases, other people are going to find it charming. Because that's something that I've noticed about like my own voice. One of my hangups was I thought people were going to be turned off by my accent because I'm Southern. But that's one of the things that people comment on most is about how much they love my accent. So what you find weird, other people will find charming. So you have to just kind of get out of your own way and do it anyway. And eventually you'll be comfortable with it. So hopefully that will help you a little bit. But I'm glad that you're experimenting with Instagram stories, Frances. I have noticed that you've been doing those a lot more. And I think that's awesome. That's a really great way to start too.
Absolutely. It really is. And I had a thought here on that. On that whole, the things that you think are annoying, there are going to be some things that you hear or see that you do that will irk the crap out of you. And they may not bother anybody else, but every time you see it or hear it, you're going to be like, oh, that's so annoying. Why do I do that? Why am I doing that? This is why practice is so important, because when you practice, you can see those things, you can identify them, and then you can stop doing them.
Because it's awesome.
It's awesome. We've talked about this before, but it is such a like powerful hang up. And a lot of the times people don't notice those things. Like I never really noticed that Kirsten said awesome like all that much.
Because I edited it out.
Oh. See, it wouldn't have bothered me anyway. But the beauty of pre-recorded stuff is that you can do that. You can edit that ish out if you don't want it in there, if you find that you do it anyway. One of the things that I find that I do a lot in videos is I play with my hair. I'm always touching my hair. So I edit that stuff out, or I try to be mindful of it because I'm aware of it now, and I can just be like, okay, hands down, and I'll play with like a hair tie or something.
And there's also something we'll talk about towards the end very briefly, but there's a fun little camera magic trick called B-roll, which is awesome because you can literally film something else and talk over it. So if there's something that you're doing in the video that you like what you're saying, but you don't like what you're doing, or maybe the lighting's weird, or you made a weird face or something, you can put B-roll over that and nobody will ever know. It's a little trickery, but it's awesome. And we can talk about that.
It's fantastic magic. Is that why my hair is up? No, my hair is up because it's summer vacation and I am lazy and I did not want to do it today. It was like full on, like very full bodied, humid hair. So I was like,
summer be fun.
Yeah, I spared.
Summer be fun. Yeah. So, all right. So moving on. We've given you the foundational stuff. Now you know why. Now you know how to get over all your hangups. You have no excuses anymore, right?
Right.
So now it's time to actually create the video. So that's what we're going to talk about next. And this involves equipment, coming up with what you're going to talk about in your videos, all that stuff. So I think equipment is probably one of the scariest things. So we're going to start there, but it's also one of the easiest things.
For sure.
Are you ready for this? You ready for your mind to be blown? This is all you need. That's it. This is it. And these little things right here.
Yeah.
That's it to get started.
Yep.
Super easy.
The truth is that people don't actually care about the quality of your videos. When it comes to like pixels and resolution and all of that, there aren't people who are sitting there going, you know what? This is a great message, but I can't even pay attention to it because this was clearly shot on an iPhone. No one is doing that. And if there are people doing that, they're jerks. Okay. You can use what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And the modern day smartphone is more than enough. It's perfect for starting out with. So you can use that.
Yes.
And get started there. And the headset that comes with your iPhones, guys, use it. That's all you need for a microphone. It's actually a pretty decent microphone.
Yeah.
Be a free set of earbuds that come with your phone. So that's it.
That's all you need to get started. So, I mean, you can literally I have a pop socket on mine, and you can literally take this and just prop it somewhere and record yourself.
Yeah.
You know, or you can have somebody hold it and record you if you're doing something or whatever. Like if you're in your kitchen and you're trying to record yourself cooking, just, find a good angle that works and record it. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything super fancy. And if you do have an iPhone, you have iMovie right here on your camera, on your phone. So you can edit it right here in your phone.
Yeah.
It's
and if you guys
so easy.
iMovie, free to download, right?
Yeah.
I think it's $4.99 for the mobile version now or something. It's still legit super cheap. Super cheap. And there are a lot of different really cool editing programs for phones that you can get. I love, there's a program called InShot that I love to use for editing videos. I use it to edit my Instagram stories even. But it also does square and the horizontal layout and everything that you would want to do with video. And you can do it right from your phone. Very easy to use. Just amazing, incredible. So you don't need a huge amount of equipment. You don't need to go out and buy a MacBook Pro if you don't have one. You don't need to. If you have a MacBook or an iMac or any kind of Apple product, whatever, you've got the tools right there.
Yeah.
It's all right there on your computer, and it's all
to be honest, the webcam on your MacBook is not going to be as good as the camera on your iPhone.
For sure.
It's just not. I mean, what I'm using, and I think you're using the same one that I am, it's the Logitech webcam. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to upgrade, you can go on Amazon. And if you're in the $25 membership, this is all in the workbook.
Yeah.
And it's also we have links to this, I think, on our resources page too for
a couple of things are linked to on the resources page.
But we both have a Logitech C920 webcam, and it's a high definition webcam. I think it was $75 maybe.
It's not even that now. It's $49.99 now.
Yeah, because I bought it a couple years ago. It's kind of old, but it's great. It's high definition, like I said. And I mean, you can put it ours right now is on our monitor. It's sitting right here on top of the monitor. And I can put it on my tripod too. So I can sit anywhere, and it's got a really long cord, and I can just put it right in the USB of my computer, and it's high definition recording. And that's what I use. If you go back and watch any of our videos, for the most part, that's what I've used to record all of my videos that are on our YouTube channel. And it's so easy. It's such a great webcam. And then you can still use, your earbuds for your mic if you want to, or if you want to go ahead and upgrade your mic. We both recommend the Yeti Blue mic, which is this one right here. And it's what we use for our podcast, and it's what we use for video. It's a great mic. Yep. It's about $100, $125 maybe. And it's all you need. It's an excellent microphone. So if you only have a smartphone, start there. Get comfortable with video with that equipment. And then as you get more comfortable and decide how you want to continue doing video, then buy the equipment that's going to serve you. Because what we use may not be what you need. But those are the things that we have both used for a couple of years now, and it's what we recommend. And they're very affordable as far as, video equipment goes. You're not going to have to spend a ton of money for that. But don't let the equipment be your barrier.
No, don't even worry about the equipment as an issue. There is not really an equipment barrier when it comes to video. And the truth is that it wasn't until the end of last year that I even upgraded to something beyond what I already had with the webcam and my cell phone. And I finally got like this little camera here.
Love
I
that
had already
camera.
been doing videos for a long time, a very long time, and wasn't using a fancy camera. And it was still creating impact for my audience. It is still how I managed to get so many people to follow me without ever paying for an ad. Just using video, just using what I had, and just being myself. That's really what it is. So use what you have.
Yes.
It's going to work for you.
Yes. So let's talk about coming up with ideas, because I do feel like that this is another barrier for a lot of people. They're like, well, okay, I know I need to do video, but I don't really know what to do the videos on. And there's a lot of great ways to come up with a list. One really great way is if you're in the $25 membership, download the workbook, because there's a ton of ideas in there. But just from a general basis, the best way to get started to figure out what you should do your videos on is to talk to your audience, because that's who you're doing videos for anyway. So ask them. It's as simple as that. You can do a little poll on Facebook. You can send it out in your newsletter and be like, hey guys, I want to start doing more video. What do you want to see? And give them a few ideas to get them started, but let them tell you what they want and then give it to them.
Yep.
You'll be very surprised by the things that people see. You know, I know a lot of people love doing like house tours, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you have a home office or even a little corner of your bedroom that you work from, that's a great video. People want to see where you work.
Yeah, people love that. The truth is that people are just nosy. We're all very nosy. We've talked about this before. We all want to see what's going on in other people's lives. So when you ask your audience, don't be surprised if you get some responses that are a little bit different than what you anticipated. Like, I'd like to see, what, like she said, what your workspace looks like, what your work corner looks like. I actually had someone send me a message on Instagram asking if I would do a video of all my animals, which I thought was hysterical. Because I
have a menagerie.
I have a menagerie. I have to just start my own YouTube channel just for my animals. But yeah, ask your audience, poll them. And this is the great part about polling them, by the way, if you poll them and then you actually create the content that they've asked for, they start to come back for more, because they're like, oh, they actually are hearing my voice, and people love to be heard. Everybody wants to be heard.
This is a great question that Joy asked. What if your audience is brand new, tiny, and not really engaged yet?
Ooh, you have a good answer for this one.
Yes. So whatever industry you're in, go find your competitor and see what their audience wants. And it's kind of cheating, but not really. It's market research. It's market research. And we all do market research. Yeah. Now, I don't recommend that you hardcore poll your competitor's audience, because that's not cool. But just active listening. And I know you've heard us talk about that before. Do some active listening. Spend some time in Facebook groups where your competitors hang out and where their audience hangs out and where your potential audience hangs out. Spend time in those places online and listen. You can ask questions, make sure you're following the rules of the Facebook group or whatever, but you can ask questions and be like, I'm curious about this. What's your opinion? And see what people say, and just listen. Go on Pinterest and see what people who are potentially your audience are pinning. Go on Instagram and see what they're saying in the comment section on other people's Instagram posts, or who they follow on Instagram, and all of that. You have to kind of do a little bit of digging if you're just getting started, or if your audience is very small or not very engaged, but it's definitely worth the work, because if you do that active listening and then you start giving them what they want, they're going to follow you and your community will grow.
Yep, absolutely. So beyond that, this is actually a funny topic, coming up with content ideas. A lot of people are like, I don't know what to do a video about. I honestly, and this is going to sound harsh, I feel like that's an excuse also. Because those same people probably have really good ideas for blog posts. And anything that you can turn into a blog post, you can turn into a video. This is the beauty of video. There are so many ways to turn your ideas into a video. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be sitting in front of the camera. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be filming yourself baking. So, Francis, you do SEO and finance stuff. I think numbers confuse me, so I'm just going to say finance stuff. You could easily give a tutorial by screen sharing.
Yes.
And people will watch it. And it's much easier for people to learn through watching than through reading in most cases. So anything that you would turn into a blog post, you can turn into a video. And the cool thing is that you can also take all of your old content and you can turn those into videos too.
Yes. I mean, that's a really great way to get started with your pre-recorded videos, even if, especially if, I should say, you have a small audience, because you've already created that content. So go back and turn it into a video, and it's going to boost that existing content because you're going to put it on YouTube and then you're going to go embed it in that blog post. So it's going to get all this SEO juice attached to it, and it's going to help you get found even more. So it's going to boost existing content, but it's giving you that video content that you need to be doing anyway. And I feel like that's a really great way for you to kind of get your feet wet with the video game, because, you're not having to completely come up with something brand new. You just basically recreate something you've already done just in video format. So I don't feel like that's as scary as starting from scratch.
It's definitely not as scary starting from scratch. You know what you're doing already. You just do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I would start. Honestly, I would start looking at your own resources. Then you can start polling your audience and you can check out what, the trends are in the industries that you're in, or what some current popular topics are. We've done a few different podcasts that were based off of things that were coming up in the news, and they came up as like some of the most popular podcast episodes we've done because you target what people are interested in right now. So inspiration, honestly, video content ideas are everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
It really is just active listening. So depending on what your industry is, pay attention to anything that people start getting hyped up about online in your industry, and then talk about it. You can want to do a Facebook Live and be like, I'm not an expert on this, but let's talk about it. You guys saw me do that with that whole GDPR thing. I'm like, I don't know everything there is to know, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to know. And if you are an industry leader, they want to know it from you. They want to hear it from you. So make sure that you're putting yourself out there as that industry leader. Fake it till you make it, like Erin said, and talk about the things that people are already talking about and do a video on them.
Yep. Amen. It's really easy. Be open to inspiration and be brave. Put yourself out there. That's really what it's really about. It's just being willing to tackle the stuff, because you've got the content, you've got the ideas. You guys are brilliant, incredible, amazing women. You can do this stuff. So let's move on to the part that people really get hung up on. And this is where all of the insecurities come out. And it's knowing what to say when you're filming a video.
I can honestly tell you that I myself have hit that record button and then I just stare blankly at the camera. Because all the juicy goodness I had in my head right before that is gone.
It's just gone.
And I'm just like, and it's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
I've done it before. We all do it. I've done it on live videos. I'll go live and then I'm just like,
hi guys.
Hey.
What are you guys doing? What do you want to talk about today? I actually love it because people will send me messages and they'll go, you're so good on camera. You flow so nicely. And I'm like, you haven't seen the unedited 45-minute version of this video.
I have. It's crazy.
It's bad. It's not good.
She goes on these long tangents.
Oh my goodness. For every 101 course we've done, we made a commitment to our people. Like, we're going to do bite-sized lessons so they can learn and they can implement right away. And we were like, we'll cap it at like 6 minutes. I had to edit like 30 minutes worth of content down to 6 minutes every single lesson.
Yeah. She wants to get on her coach hat every single time and not just tell you how to do it, but why you should do it and how it's going to impact people. Anyway.
And why it makes you think you're so special.
You're so special.
So special. That's what I do.
So that's why it's important to jot down some things. Now, some people fully script their videos and some people make bulleted lists or notes or whatever. Now, Erin and I both have a very strong opinion against scripting.
Please do not full script your video, okay? You can write down all the notes you want, and I highly recommend it.
Yes.
But don't script, because what happens is you start reading the script. And when you read the script, you turn into that like 10th grader who's giving a report.
Yeah.
There go my headphones.
She got so excited about it.
I just flailed them right out of my earballs. Don't read, don't recite, because then people know that it's not a genuine thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then it's not like there's not a connection there. They're like, oh, okay, well, I could have just read this myself.
So here's the thing. You guys listen to the podcast. You're listening to us now. You hear that the inflection in our voice, right? And the way that we have been talking to you tonight is not scripted. It's very off the cuff. We have notes, but we just have notes and we're talking as a normal person. But if we were to read, it would be like Section 1, video foundations, why video is important for your business, what industries should be using video. Da, da, da. Like there's no inflection there. So there's no emotion. And the emotional part is what people get attached to when they're watching your videos. Mm-hmm. Good, bad, or otherwise, there needs to be an emotional connection with you in order to keep people engaged with your video and to keep them coming back every time you do another one. So if you script it and you read that script, you are going to sound like the book report kid. You're not going to sound like you. So have your notes, keep them handy. When I do pre-recorded video, I tape my notes right under my camera. Mm-hmm. So that I'm looking at the camera, but I can glance down to find out what point I want to make next. Mm-hmm. And it helps a lot to do that. And we can talk about this too. I'll go ahead and say your piece because I want to talk about recording too. I'm just getting off on a tangent.
She's going crazy. She's very passionate about this. Honestly, I'm just gonna mirror what she said for sure. It takes practice to wing it. Okay. And you may never be the person who wings it 100%, and that's okay. You don't have to be. Mm-hmm. What is really important for you to do is make sure that you are speaking conversationally. So Joy said that it helped her to write out a script in her classes so that she could get to particular phrases. If that's the way you feel most comfortable speaking to a camera, by all means, you do what works for you. The important thing is that you say things naturally. This is when you get to channel a little bit of your kindergarten dreams of being like a stage actress or whatever. We've all had that dream. You can channel that then. You have to be natural, but I highly encourage you as a business owner to practice speaking without having a bunch of notes in front of you. Winging it, while it does take practice, it's one of the most genuine ways to deliver your message and your content to people so that they can get to know the real you. This is why it takes me so long to record videos sometimes, because I'm always winging it. I very rarely keep my notes in front of me because I want everything to come out as authentically as possible so that you guys get to know the real Erin, the one who doesn't have the like, oh, we just met and this is crazy and I'm shy barrier in between us. You're going to get to know me right away just through that. So practice, practice, practice. If you need to script, it's fine, but don't recite it.
Yes. And what I wanted to add to that is, and this is something that I have had to learn the hard way, when you are recording video, you're going to screw up. Multiple times. You're going to fumble your words. You're going to stutter. You're going to completely lose your train of thought. You're going to have dogs come running in and being idiots. You're going to have things happen. Don't stop recording and start over. Don't do that. Just keep the camera going. Take a breath. Find where you were and pick up there. Because it's a lot easier to do it in one complete start to finish recording and go back and edit that than it is to start and stop and start over and stop and start over and stop. I mean, you will get so burned out on that video so fast if you stop your recording every time you mess up and start at the beginning again. And you'll waste a ton of time too.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but in some of our earlier Wit and Wisdom videos, if you watch all the way to the end, you'll see the outtakes because they make for a really engaging, funny part of the video. Mm-hmm. So if you've never seen that, go back and watch some from like January and February, because we stuck a few of those in there and they're quite funny. But you're going to mess up and it's okay. And it's normal. Like what you see on our YouTube channel is very edited, very edited. And your videos are not going to be perfect right from the get-go. So definitely take a break, Pause. Yes, Francis, I taught you at the retreat to pause. It is. If you start feeling like you're talking too fast or anything like that, just pause.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that you want to do with the pause is that's a great place to clip your video. So you have to remember that when you're editing, you're going to have to find those pauses, and that's where you're going to make breaks in your video, and you can clip that stuff out. So if you just talk and talk and talk and you don't ever take a break and you're like, and then I'm going to do this and we're going to do this and da 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 da, that's almost impossible to edit. There's never a break. So you want to make sure that you're talking and then you pause.
Yeah.
And then you talk and you pause.
Yeah.
Don't be in a rush to finish your video. It's recording. You can make it as long as you want and go back and edit it later. So don't feel like you have to hurry through all the things you're trying to say. Nobody's racing you to the end.
Nope. It's not a race. The other part to this, and this is something that I have learned along the way. You may have decided that there is a day that is video recording day. You've got your notes. You've practiced in the mirror a couple of times while you're brushing your teeth, because that's what we do. And then you sit down and you stutter and you stumble and you lose your train of thought and you get frustrated. And then it feels like you have to force it out. You don't have to. Take a break, walk away. Oftentimes, if you are feeling overwhelmed and stressed out about the video that you're creating, that is able to be picked up in the video and you will not be happy with it. So it's better to just turn the camera off for a moment, walk away, go get a drink, step outside, get some fresh air, do whatever you need to do to pump yourself up a little bit to, just reactivate that excitement that you have about doing videos, or just to energize you a little bit, because that's a really important thing, is to have some energy on camera, and then come back to it. You're the boss. Okay, you can set your own schedule and you can say when enough is enough. And if you're overly frustrated and you need to take a break, do it. Your video will be better for it.
Absolutely. So let's see.
So on that note,
yes.
let's talk about video presence.
Yeah. And this is, it kind of goes in line with the camera confidence thing.
Mm-hmm.
But your presence is a little bit more than that. Obviously, confidence is a big part of it, yes. But how you present yourself is a big part of how people will see you. So some of that goes into like your physical appearance. If you come in all disheveled and, you've got food stains on your shirt and whatever, people might not take you as seriously as if you take a minute to fix your hair and put on a clean shirt and that sort of thing. But you want to make sure that you are presentable as it fits your brand. And that's really important, because we talked about Amy Porterfield. She makes a ton of money. We're not even going to joke about it, right? She makes a ton of money and she can look fixed up and dressed to the nines and whatever. Marie Forleo is a great example of that. She has a team of people. She has hair people and makeup people and wardrobe people and all of that. And her videos show it, right? Yeah. We don't have all those people. I am my wardrobe person and my makeup person and my hair person. So you get what you get. And that's something to keep in mind. So don't feel like your video presence has to be like Marie Forleo's or Amy Porterfield's or mine. It needs to be whatever works best for your brand.
Yeah. Yeah, the appearance element in your video presence is definitely an important one, but more so for you than anybody else. And that's an important thing for you to remember. People aren't going to be nitpicking you unless you do, like Kirsten said, you show up and you've got like food stains on your shirt and you haven't brushed your hair all week. And even then, I've seen videos of people who are like Hot Mess Express and they're doing videos on Facebook and nobody's like, girl, brush your hair. Like people just, they typically don't. But it does help you to embrace the brand and the part of being that like professional camera, in front of camera person or whatever, if you feel the part. So take that time. But your video presence goes beyond your appearance. This is the persona that you are going to be presenting on camera. And this is a part that people get flustered with, because they feel like that means I'm saying, pretend to be someone you're not, but that's not it. This is an important thing for you to know. You talk to your children a different way than you talk to the mailman. and you talk to the mailman a different way than you talk to the cashier at the grocery store, and you talk to your friends a different way than you talk to the cashier. You have different personas based off of who you're talking to. They're all you. It's just how you are communicating. Now you have to get the persona out that you want your audience to see, and you have to really make it shine on camera. So while being authentic to yourself, this is a really important thing. You have to be authentic to yourself because you can only carry on a facade for so long. You can't be fake. So practice being in front of the camera and channeling the parts of yourself that really fulfill the parts of your brand that need fulfilled. So for Wit and Wisdom, we are serious business, seriously funny. One of the things that I find that we have to channel in ourselves is just being comfortable enough to be 100% ourselves and crack jokes and just be silly and still deliver the serious content, deliver the facts and whatnot. And when I first started with Blog Fuel back then, that was something that I had not been 100% used to. I'd always kind of turned off my, sense of humor and the banter and stuff for business because I had been told previously, like, oh, you should behave a certain way.
And then I told her she was boring and she stopped doing that.
That's right. She was like, girl, you boring. Turn it off.
I never said that.
No, she never said that. No, it was just when it was growing, it's a growing process. Yeah. And I don't want you guys to waste the time that I did thinking that I had to constantly be like this camera, holding everything in all the time. Like, you don't have to do that. Be yourself, but figure out what it is that you want to be in front of the camera, what part of yourself you want people to recognize. If you want people to take you to see you as the serious boss lady who's just delivering the facts, then that's the person that you should be on camera. That's the way you want to act on camera. If your brand is very like silly and flighty and fun, then it's going to be really weird if you get in front of the camera and you like deadpanning. You're like, oh,
I feel like
what you do.
Allison from the Allison Show is a good example of that.
Oh, great example of that.
If you guys don't know who she is, you'll have to look her up. She does the Allison Show, and her brand is very lively and bright and bold, and it's like she incorporates a lot of music and dancing, and she gets on, if you watch her Instagram stories, I mean, she's crazy, ridiculous. She like puts the camera up in the corner of the room and she turns on some funky music and she does this like weird dance move and like has her whole Instagram stories as that. And when she has like
pelvic thrusting.
Yeah. And when she has workshops, in-person workshops, they dance into the workshop. Like it's part of her brand.
She brings the sharks with her.
Yeah. She has the dancing sharks. And I mean, it's insane, but that's her brand and that's her persona. And that is very consistent across everything she does.
But the important thing to remember about Allison, if you guys are not familiar with her, and if you guys aren't, seriously, go look. She's the Allison Show everywhere. The thing about that is that she has come out and said at other points in time that she struggles with anxiety. She struggles with depression. She's not always turned on, but because the Allison Show is her business and her business is lively and fun and exciting and music and dancing, that's the part of herself that she chooses to show in her video content, no matter what video it is, whether it's an Instagram story and she's in her car, no makeup, jamming out while drinking a soda, because that's a big part of her brand too, is her, daily soda. Or she's at a workshop teaching from the inside of a clamshell. I want to teach inside a clamshell. It's all about her personality and that facet of it. You don't have to share every single bit of your personality. I know that we're in the middle of this like authenticity and, share 100% and be vulnerable. You can be vulnerable. You can be real, but you can also be in alignment with your brand.
Yep. So one last thing on this part, and then I think we'll take a 5-minute break, is just setting up for recording your video. So we've already gone over the equipment part. You don't need a ton of fancy equipment. You don't need any fancy equipment. You just need your camera. But we want to talk you through just a very simple setup to stage your first video. And it's really easy. Okay. You sit down and you have your little microphone and you have your little camera and then light. This is one of the biggest things that can change make a difference between amateur hour and more professional is light. The light coming in, even if it's from a window or whatever.
Yeah, get
And
in the
then
window.
you record, and that's it.
That's it. You guys don't have to spend a lot of money on backdrops. I have seen this so much. People like, where can I buy a 6-foot backdrop? Blah, blah, blah. There's not a professional place in my house to.
Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about professional. Do you see what's behind me? Do you see this giant sweet tea sign on its side? And there's a box. And that whole room in there is full of boxes. And there's nothing on my wall because I'm moving. Okay? I'm moving in a week. So this is what you get. And then look at Erin.
Fancy. I'm in my bedroom.
With your animals behind you.
I've got animals all around me. It's just my life now.
Now, I do normally have this cleaned up a little bit better. There's usually artwork on the walls. That sign usually hangs over my desk and not in the dining room on the floor. But it doesn't take much. I mean, really, as long as you make sure you don't have like a pile of dirty clothes on the floor in camera view. If you've never blogged a home decor blog, you won't understand this. But I've done it, right? My original blog was home decor. And when I would have to stage a room for photographing, I would push piles of things out of the way and stage just what I was taking a picture of. Nobody sees the laundry or the dirty dishes or the dog hair on the rug or the dust on the windows, whatever. Nobody has to see that. They just see what's in camera view. So get your camera set up first and then look at it and go, okay, what do I need to move out of camera?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. That's really it. That's all you need to do. You don't need a professional studio. You need a place to sit or stand. You need to make sure there's no trash around you. That's a really important thing. Like, don't have dirty diapers and stuff in your videos, guys. That's weird. And you need to make sure, and this is something that a lot of people don't think about until after. If you are a very private person, you may want to consider making sure that you don't have like family photos behind you. I know that there are some bloggers that are moms and they don't necessarily want their kids on there. You're allowed to take those pictures down. You're definitely allowed to. Yeah. Francis said, Erin, I've seen you drape walls in your trainings. I have created setups for trainings. Yes, you don't have to. It's not something you need to do if you don't want to. It is purely a do you want to do this? And if you don't have to. Yeah. I personally like to be, if I'm pre-recording something like a course or something, I used to really enjoy taking time to create sets because I have a little bit of a background in hobby filmmaking. So don't use me as an example. And I don't do that stuff anymore.
That's another good point, Madeline. Just be careful of anything that can give away your location. Yeah. If that's something that you're concerned about, it's just, be cautious or whatever. Know how much you want to let people in on and what you don't want people to know about you and that sort of thing. So like for me, I mean, I'm pretty much an open book. Yeah. Everybody knows my husband's name and my daughter's name. And it's kind of funny because nobody knows her last name because it's different from mine. And that keeps my daughter protected. So that's something I've never published. I can't say it. I'm done.
She's never publicized the last name of her offspring.
That's right. Thank you. It just wouldn't come out. I couldn't make it happen.
Yeah. So just be mindful of your surroundings. Yeah. That's really it. One of the other things that is really important for you to know when you are creating your set is that if you are filming in a room that has a fan or an air conditioner or something, turn them off. Because your microphone's going to pick it up.
Yes. And if you do like drape or something behind you, it'll blow it around.
Yeah,
kind of funny.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So truth be told, the moral of the set story is do what you can, work with what you have. If you have the ability and the desire to have a fun background, like you want to do something that's a little bit different, you can. It's your show. It's you're the boss. You can make the rules. You can do whatever you want with it. And honest to goodness, people are less concerned about your fancy backdrops or backgrounds than they are with the message that you put out there. I can tell you since Francis had brought up me draping the walls in trainings that I'd done, there is literally no difference in engagement between those and videos where I'm sitting here at my computer with a dresser behind me. No difference.
Yeah. Just, keep it simple.
Yep.
Because you don't want to waste your valuable time and energy setting up this incredible backdrop and getting all this fancy equipment and stuff, and then not have a video. Like, you don't know what to talk about. So it's more important to focus on the content.
Yep.
Keep everything else as simple as possible. It's just a distraction. And I feel like a lot of people will waste time on purpose messing with all of that stuff because they're too afraid to hit record.
For sure.
It's like, I'm just going to take a few minutes and do this. I'm
For
just
sure.
going to do this first. And then you just end up not recording.
Yeah. You absolutely can spend the time there if you're at that point where you're like comfortable with it and you're already doing it. But really, if you are using that as a way to not do video, it doesn't matter. Just don't worry about it.
So I think that's a good stopping place. It's 8:15. We've been going for right at an hour. So we're going to pause for, what do you want to say, 3 minutes?
Sure.
Do 3 minutes, bathroom break for everybody, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up the last part of our training, and then we'll have some Q&A.
All right. See you guys in 3 minutes. There we go. I was like, wait, which did I mute? Did I hit the button?
Guess who's back?
Back
again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Don't make me bust out my M&M. You know I'll do it.
She'll do it.
I'll do it.
All right. If you are back, let us know that you're back. We're going to dig back in, jump back in.
Dig, jump, whatever.
Do the thing. We're going to do the thing.
Do it.
Because we're professionals like that. That's what we're going to do.
This has been good, though.
Yeah.
You have to forgive my mint. I'm the idiot that puts a mint in right before I get back on the microphone.
Well, you know, you don't want to be smelly.
I don't want y'all to smell my bad breath.
That's really what it is.
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision.
Joy's here.
All right. Glad to have you. I'm trying to find a video.
Okay.
That we can edit together.
Oh. Fun.
Won't that be exciting, guys? You're so excited to see us edit a video together. Oh, see, I just cleaned my computer up, though. That's the problem.
Do you don't have any?
Oh, no, I do. They're just all out of order now. It's like all messed up.
Oh.
Some of these are super secret projects. Not really, but there we go. I miss America. Okay. So the next part of this epically epic training is making some film magic, some video magic. I said earlier that a lot of people ask us or say to us, like, how good we are on camera. We are magical magicians on camera. It's not that. We're just really good at editing. And the fun part about it is that it's not even hard. Like, I wish I could tell you that, like, this took me years of practice to get this good at edit. It didn't. It's super simple. And I'm going to show you how to edit videos using iMovie very quickly. I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of not how to use iMovie completely, just because that would be that's a training all on its own. And you guys can figure out how to import a video and how to, you know, export a video. We
actually have a YouTube video that you did.
Yeah, there's a full YouTube video that I did on how to do all of that. But I'm going to show a little bit more than I did in that video. I'm going to show you guys some cute little tricks, some little tips that you can use to make them awesome. Do you have anything that you want to talk about before editing?
Nope.
Kirsten?
We'll get into all the other magical film magic.
Magical film magic. Okay.
I feel like there should be unicorns and stuff like bouncing across the screen.
Yeah, for real. There should be. Okay. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do this. Screen share your entire screen. No. That's a mess. We're going to do just iMovie. Here we go. And boom.
Boom.
Wait, present to everyone. Yeah. I think I need to click that button. There we go.
I'm going to mute myself so it doesn't accidentally show me again, and then we'll be good.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me close that. If you guys have questions as I'm going through this, let me know. I'm trying to keep my comment window open here. So this is iMovie. If you are on a Mac of any kind, you have iMovie available to you. If you don't have it on your Mac already, you can go into the App Store and you can download it for free. It is a free program. If you do not have Mac or a Mac, you can download a program called Filmora, and it works almost the exact same as iMovie, but it's available for PC. And to be completely honest, you can also download it for Mac as well. I don't know why you would, because iMovie works very, very, very well. This is iMovie. This is my disorganized chaos. Please don't judge me for that. But I'm going to show you how to edit a video very quickly in iMovie, and it's super easy. So I've got this old video. This is an old video, and I'm going to drag it into the editing area. So I just clicked it, dragged it. You can figure out how to import it by going to the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, and I've got a full video on like how do you use it. So when I drug it down into the little editing area, you can see it's really small. This is an impossible piece to edit. So we want to stretch it out so that we can actually see it piece by piece. And we do that by going right here to this little section where right beside settings. It's a little like drag bar, and you're going to stretch it out. I like to stretch it the whole way. Now this 10-minute video is really long, but it's opened up so that you can see something very important. And this is what Kirsten was talking about earlier. She said that it's important for you to remember to take pauses so that you can edit things out. And if you look here at the bottom of this little film clip here, there are empty spaces. This is where your sound is. So all these waves are me talking. Anything that I'm like not talking in, where I'm not saying a word, that's the part I'm going to want to clip out, because you don't want to have a lot of like long pauses. It causes people to click away. So in order to get rid of it, you're going to click the spot that you want to get rid of. You're going to right click it. And then you click this little button here that says split clip. And you do it again at the end of it. So this one's at the beginning, so I only have to do it once. But then you just hit delete on your keyboard and it's gone. It's gone. Magic, right? So you can do that through your entire video. You can get rid of all the pauses. Now, I'm not going to bother going in and listening to this because this isn't a video that I really need to edit right now, and I don't want to waste a bunch of time on that part. But you'll want to make sure that you play it back and make sure that you're only clipping out the parts that you want to clip out instead of clipping out just a ton of stuff that you actually need. So be sure to listen to it. This is also how you'll clip out parts where you stutter or you stumble or you make a weird noise or somebody runs in. Any error or anything you want to get rid of, anything, you're going to be able to do that way. Now, another really cool effect to help keep people, another cool effect to really help keep people engaged is to make it look like you have a multi-angle camera setup. You've seen those videos where it looks like in one shot they're far away, and the next shot they're close up or they're off to the side, and everybody thinks that that means that you have to have more than one camera. You don't need to have more than one camera. In fact, all you need is iMovie to do some clever editing. So what you'll do is you'll take a section of your video and you will separate it. So you'll right click and then split the clip just like you did to get rid of it, right? Highlight the area that you want to make stand out. And you guys, you'll have this video to watch. I know I'm going a little bit fast here, but I could spend hours teaching you iMovie. Highlight the part that you want to stand out and then go to the top part right here, this little cropping button, and you're going to click it. This is going to open up a really cool menu that gives you some fun options. You've got Fit, Crop to Fill, and Ken Burns. Now, Ken Burns is going to give you this zoom effect, and you can change where the center of the video is and resize and all of that. And I'll show you what that looks like. So then when you play it, it'll zoom in slowly to the end. But what I typically do is I do crop to fill. Now this is going to give the little border, and then you can drag it so that it's smaller, and you can drag it around so that it's at a different angle. Play with it however you want it. And then it'll look like this. And that really helps draw in the viewer because they are constantly seeing something shift and change, even though it's a talking head video. Now you can do this with any kind of video. It doesn't have to be just a talking head video. Isn't that a lovely face that I was making right there? You can use this for any kind of video that you're making. You can zoom in on specific parts that you want to highlight. You can just really use it to emphasize an attitude that you might be having. If you're, flustered or exasperated or anything, you can change the angle of the video just by clipping it like that, cropping it like that. Another great tool, another great option for you in iMovie is putting on overlays. Guys, you don't need really expensive professional editing software to make a professional looking video. For this particular video, I used overlays that I created in Canva. And all I did in Canva was I opened up a presentation sized file, and then I created a little image that was transparent on the background, and I exported it. That's it. So then I imported that image right into iMovie. And then once it was imported, I was able to drag it down and put it right on top of the video. So now I have this really cute overlay, and you can again edit your overlays the same way you do with the rest of the video. So I'd click it. If I don't want it to zoom like that, because it automatically zooms like that, you just go up to the cropping tool and click fit. And then it looks like this. And you can make it as long as you want by dragging it, or as short as you want by dragging it. If you don't want it anymore at all, you can delete it. But that's how you end up making your video more engaging, by adding things like that so that it really helps reinforce your message and what you're talking about. That's really what it's all about. And it does take a little bit of practice. It takes some playing with it, but it's something that you absolutely can do. And it's something that's a lot of fun. It really is a very enjoyable thing for you to do. This is also the same program that you'll use to add music to. So if you want to add music, you would import your song just like you would anything else, and then drag it down. Only instead of it being on the top, it's going to be on the bottom. You don't want it to be too loud, though, because you don't want it to overpower your voice. So you can click it and just drag it up and down to get to the volume that you want. You can take it all the way up to 400, which is ridiculously loud, or you can do a more moderate, like 9%, if it's like background music for your video. But really, that's it. iMovie is so simple. And I do have an editing video on iMovie, or yeah, I do have an iMovie editing video on YouTube. And if you guys have specific questions about what you want to see, I can show you more. But again, that could be a course all on its own. And if you do have specific questions, let me know. I'm going to keep this open so that I can show you anything that you might have questions on. And I'm going to stop sharing because we have a lot to cover still.
I love iMovie so much.
Isn't it amazing?
It's so easy.
It's so easy. Like, there's so much there, and it's just so fun, and I love it.
Okay, so you did talk about this very briefly, but we want to talk a little bit more about it. So the music.
Yeah.
Now, music isn't something that you necessarily have to use, but it definitely kind of creates a little bit of an ambiance or an atmosphere, and it kind of breaks up your video and makes it feel less like a talking heads kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just, kind of very softly plays in the background. And there's a lot of places that you can find music. You can buy music. There's all different kinds of libraries that you can find royalty-free music that you purchase for like a one-time download. But there's also a music library on YouTube that gives you all kinds of music for free. And you have to look at the, what's it called? Attribution.
Yeah.
To determine if you have to mention the creator or not in your caption. That's very important. You don't want to violate any copyright laws. So if you go to this, we can link to this too. But when you go to this YouTube video music library, excuse me, you can sort by attribution. So you can only see what does not require an attribution. And that means that you can use that music as much or as little as you want to, and you don't ever have to credit the creator, but all of it's free. Yeah. And that's a really great place to find some really cool music. You can sort by genre. You can sort by, I think, length or something like that. I don't know, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, by length, by mood, by instrument. There are so many ways to narrow it down. And you're sure to find something in there that you love. There are very popular sounding songs, things that are very on trend. They're always updating it. I mean, every time I go in there, I end up seeing, songs that are posted that say new. So they definitely keep on top of it. But the important thing with the music is that it has to be one that is, available to be used. Like one of the, not copywritten songs. Like, you can't take your favorite Dre song and throw it behind your video. You just can't do it. You will get flagged.
As much as we love Britney, won't hear her in our videos.
You won't. And seriously, they're hardcore about this stuff, okay? They're hardcore about this stuff. If you guys have been with us for any length of time, at Christmas time, we did a little parody video for Christmas where we were lip syncing Christmas songs. We could not post that anywhere very easily. I tried to post it directly to Facebook, and Facebook flagged it. Facebook was like, no, you can't post this here. Even though it was just like 10-second clips of a song of each then process with to get the video approved to show that, like, yeah, we're not stealing this content. It's just a parody video, which falls under, you know, fair use rights and all that jazz. But be careful with the music that you are using. And this isn't just in pre-recorded content. If you are playing the radio while you're doing a live, Facebook will shut you off.
Yep.
So
fortunately, they weren't like that back in the day, because I would have dance parties at the beginning of my lives.
Yep.
And they weren't catching it, but it's a little harder to do that stuff now. They're a little more strict, and for good reason. I mean, it's not my content. I didn't create that music, so
right.
It makes sense.
Totally
But
makes sense.
yeah, there is definitely no shortage of free music that's also attribution free.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't have any trouble finding something. Everything that the music that we use for the podcast and all of our YouTube videos is all stuff that we have either bought for very cheap or we've used free music.
Yep. And it works.
Pond 5, Madeline recommends Pond 5. I've never heard of that.
Pond 5 does have some good stuff. Another site that I really love. If you want like legit music, like, and I do recommend this. I'm going to say this right now. I recommend that people have one song that is their song. It's the song that they're going to use for the intro of all of their videos, and it can transition into another song, you know? And again, you can take my opinion with a grain of salt. You know, it's up to you, but I do recommend having a song that is your song, and don't be afraid to spend a little bit more money on that song. But Premium Beats has great music available, and they provide you with full-length tracks, looping tracks, which is really important. You guys have no idea how important it is to have a looping track, and shorts. So if you have like a podcast, you know, you can use a 60-second clip to make your intro, or a 30-second clip, or whatever. Same thing with your video intros. You can take that short that's, you know, made perfect to be short. You won't have to play with it very much. You can just drag it and drop it, and it's awesome. And the songs, I mean, they're like $50. So it's a little bit more of an investment, but it's worth it.
So just make sure that you love the song before you spend the money.
Yeah. Take your time picking the song and make sure that it fits your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get something cinematic and dark and moody if you're like super colorful and bouncy and fun.
A lot of like hard organ playing.
I think next season's podcast, we should use death metal.
Yeah. Screamo. Yeah. That would be awesome.
People will be like, what happened? You're like, midlife crisis. Okay. It's fine.
It's fine. I have like really dark makeup on every time we do a live. Really
okay, guys.
Eyeliner.
Hey, guys.
Gregorian.
No. All right, Alan.
Yeah.
Right.
So once you have created your video, you've recorded it at this point, you've edited, you've added your music. So now what do you do with it? Where do you post it? The short answer is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Behind it. But I recommend for SEO is
you froze up there, Kirsten.
What?
I cannot see or hear you. Can you guys see or hear her? Is it just me? You can keep talking. I don't know if it's just me or not.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm frozen.
Yeah, I think you might be. Are you back?
You go ahead? I'm not back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, wait.
I can see you now.
Okay. You lost me for a second. I don't know what happened. Okay. Hopefully I'm back. I'm going to look at the actual Patreon page before I dive into this. Okay. It looks like I'm back. Hopefully I won't freeze again. If I do, just like flag me, Aaron, or something, and I'll shut up.
Okay.
So if you're doing a pre-recorded video for YouTube and you're maybe even going to put it on your website, I recommend that you put it on YouTube first, and then you wait a couple of days and then put it into a blog post. And the reason that I say that is because I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this training that YouTube is the second largest search engine, and it's owned by Google. So when you put video onto YouTube, you start getting that SEO juice. Like Google starts finding you. because when you post it to YouTube, you're also going to do your due diligence and write a really good caption and make sure that you tag it properly. And I'll let Aaron speak to that. But after you do that, you're going to give it a couple days because you're going to already have some SEO juice behind it when you put it into a blog post. So then you write a blog post and you have like basically like show notes and you embed that video into your blog post. It's going to already come with some Google goodness and it's going to boost that blog post right from the beginning.
Yep, that's true. So on that note, in order for that Google goodness to really work, you have to make sure that you are writing great descriptions. No matter where you're posting, you have to write great descriptions. Now, SEO wise, Facebook and IGTV, they don't have great search functions, okay? They're not great for like SEO, not great for search, but YouTube is phenomenal. Phenomenal for getting found. It's really great for your website. So that embedding and all of that jazz, I mean, that is a great place to start. You want to start with YouTube and then go to blog. But when you write your captions, and this is all about how to get found, you know, how to get found on YouTube. When you write your description and you write your title and whatnot, you have to keep SEO in mind. But you also have to keep your tags in mind too, because YouTube has a very, as much as it's owned by Google, it's not the same SEO system as Google, okay? It's a little bit different. So you want to make sure that you are tagging your video appropriately with the tags that you would use in your blog post for like general SEO stuff, but you also want to put tags in that would be search phrases, like what the average Joe would be searching. Now, luckily, there are some incredible tools out there to help you really make the most of your tags and to really help you optimize your description. And yes, you need a description, and your description needs to have those tags in it as well, just like your blog needs to have tags in it or your keywords in it, right? I personally recommend TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is going to help give you suggestions of what tags are good for your business and your video versus what are not good. So you can actually get your keywords or your tags on YouTube and you can put them right into TubeBuddy. And TubeBuddy is going to say, this is good to use or this is not good to use. If it's not good to use, it's because there's a high volume of people using that phrase and not enough people searching it. Or there's a high volume of people searching it and a high volume of people using it. You want to find one that people are searching, but there aren't really a lot of people providing it, right? So use as many tags as YouTube will let you use. I think it's like 30. Or I think it's actually by character count now that I'm thinking about it. Use as many tags as you can. Tag your name and your business name. This is a weird thing to do, but sometimes I will find that people will see who I am on Instagram. And if I'm talking about a video and I'm like, oh, I did a video and I posted on YouTube, they may not know. They may not have taken the time to go to my profile to be like, oh, what is this girl's business? You know? So they'll go to YouTube and they'll just search my name. And they've done the same for Kirsten. If you like digging into our analytics, I've seen people have searched Erin Jeevish or Kirsten Thompson, and our Wit and Wisdom videos are coming up because they're tagged. So tag your name, tag your business name in every single video you do, and that will help improve your chances of being found on YouTube, which again tells Google when you've embedded that video that like, hey, these people have something important to say, and it's being like tagged the same way here and the same way here. So let's boost that in the ranking. That's how it works.
And there's Oliver putting his 2 cents in.
He's like, that's right. Do it. Do the things.
Do the thing. Yes. And as far as where else you post your video, we did say everywhere. And so we're going to talk a little bit now about repurposing your video for other platforms, because I think most people kind of by default do the YouTube thing and the blog post thing. Yeah. But you can absolutely take that same video and repurpose it on other platforms. So IGTV is a thing now. It's a thing. Yeah. It's a new thing. If you have, and Erin, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't really dug into it much, but if you have less than 10,000 followers, it's 10 minutes.
Yep. Less than 10,000, it's 10 minutes. More than 10,000, it's an hour. And by the end of the year, it sounds like, and I could be wrong on that. I've heard a couple of different things. It sounds like they're going to be getting rid of that time limit altogether for everyone.
So they're probably just testing it now to see if people are going to use it. So for now, if you have less than 10,000 followers, you can upload a pre-recorded video that is 10 minutes or less.
Mhm.
So if you're doing a video that's like a tutorial style video or whatever, and it's less than 10 minutes, you can repurpose that to IGTV and get
Yep.
people watching it there. You can just upload it. Now, something to keep in mind is that IGTV is formatted to be vertical.
Yep. It is a mobile first platform.
So
you can still put your videos there.
you can still put your videos there. So, and I'm not sure, I haven't played with it myself, but I don't know if there's an option for you to crop it, because if you do a horizontal video like this and you're in the middle of the screen, if you crop it vertical, you're still in the middle.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if that's a thing for IGTV, or if it just kind of puts it with the black bars at the top and bottom.
As far as I know, it's a thing where it's going to just automatically center.
Okay.
Another thing that you can do is that if you have the video on your phone, let's say, you can use a program like InShot and you can crop it down to the way you want it to look, or you can actually create the perfect size video and you can just put that video inside a frame of sorts and then put text on the top or the bottom or whatever, just to fill it up. So like if you have to have it a full horizontal video for some reason,
gotcha.
You'd be able to play with it like that.
So that's a new thing. So I don't have all the, ins and outs of that one, but you can also take your original video and pull 60-second clips out of it. This is something that we used to do a lot when we were doing YouTube very heavily. Pull one or two 60-second clips out of every YouTube video that you do. And then you can schedule those out on Instagram and on Facebook as kind of teaser videos and link back to the full length video on YouTube. This is huge. Social media loves video just like YouTube. Okay. Yep. Instagram loves video. Facebook loves video. They're all putting a ton of money into it. So when you take those little clips, you're whetting your readers or your listeners' appetites, right? And you're giving them a little sample, and you just let them know in the caption for the rest of this video, click my link in my profile and go watch it on YouTube, or go to my blog post or whatever. So definitely repurpose that. Also, don't be afraid to upload the full-length video to Facebook.
Yeah.
People are not following you everywhere. And the less work they have to do to consume your content, the more likely they are to actually consume that content. So when you put like a screen, a picture and say, click here to go watch this video, that's extra steps that people have to do to get to the actual video. But if you actually put the entire video on Facebook, they're going to watch it more than likely. They don't have to click away from Facebook where they're hanging out with their friends to go watch your video. They're just going to watch it. And Facebook's made it even easier for people to watch video now, because when you start watching a video and then you continue to scroll through your news feed, the video still plays and it sits off to the side. And you can still watch it and still engage with your friends and stuff while you're watching that video.
Yep.
So it's very good for your audience for you to upload it to Facebook as well as YouTube. And again, do it on different days. I always recommend that you kind of space this thing out. You have dedicated days for each thing. So if you put it on YouTube on Monday, maybe put it on Facebook on Tuesday, put it in your blog post on Wednesday, whatever. Don't just like fill all of your platforms with the same video on the same day. That's too much information for people. Yep. You want to stretch it out, so that's less work for you to do.
Yep. Amen. Hallelujah.
Another thing that I used to do is when I attempted to have a second podcast all by my lonesome back in the day, I would do my short little 5-minute or 7-minute tutorial video or whatever. And then I would extract the audio and upload that to iTunes as a podcast episode. Sneaky. It was great though, because I didn't have to record a podcast every week. I would do a video, and that served as all of my content for the entire week. It was a YouTube video, it was a Facebook video, it was a blog post, it was a podcast episode, and then I would talk about it in my newsletter, and I put it on Instagram a couple times too. And that was from one video, my entire week's worth of content. So you can absolutely repurpose that all over the place.
Yep, you absolutely can. So repurpose your videos, make your videos. You guys have to jump on the video bandwagon, because it's just the way the internet is going. And we've really taken all of the question out of video at this point. It's so easy to do. You just have to get started with it. And we have officially hit just about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and open it up for some Q&A. So if you guys have any questions about anything, or you want further clarification on anything, that is what we are here for. That's what these trainings are all about, is giving you some information and giving you the opportunity to get even more from us. This is your opportunity to ask us anything about video, and we are going to answer.
I do want to mention one thing while we're waiting for you guys to post questions, because we briefly mentioned it at the beginning. So can you just clarify for people what B-roll is and how to do it?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Super short.
Yeah. So B-roll is, it's literally just video that you film of whatever you're talking about, or like just aesthetically pleasing video that you're going to place into your video, and you're going to keep the audio going. So it's a different angle, like a different view of something going on. So for our videos, a lot of the time you'll see in the intro, there is a different clip. It's not necessarily us looking at the camera, but it's Kirsten does a lot of them where she's like working on something, and then I'll put a title over top of that. So it's just a different clip of video that you can use. So this is also a great time if you have delivered part of your video, and then you go back and you're editing and you realize that you've got like lipstick all over your teeth, but you really loved what you were saying. You can put B-roll footage right on top of it and still keep your audio.
Yeah. And here, I pulled one of ours up, or one of mine on the Wit and Wisdom channel, just so you can see what it is. So let me screen share this. Hold on. And it's this lovely face when I first get to it. Isn't that great?
That's
so
beautiful.
This is B-roll. So this is the beginning. This is B-roll right here. What you see going on behind that is called B-roll. So I literally set up my camera and recorded myself walking over, sitting down, and pretending to talk to the camera, because that's what that video is about, is using video in your content strategy. So that's the B-roll. It can be a slow pan of your desk space. It can be, you know, if you're doing a food video or something like that, it can be a slow pan of all the ingredients or whatever. It can really be anything related to your video, but it kind of helps with the aesthetics of the video itself, because again, you don't want it to just be you sitting there talking. It's kind of mind numbing to watch a talking head video, you know. So if you incorporate B-roll, if you incorporate those editing tricks that Erin showed you in iMovie, where it kind of zooms in, you've probably even seen some of ours where she changes our voice a little bit and makes it black and white just for some added dimension. I mean, anything like that adds to the engagement of the video that you're creating, and it keeps people engaged long enough that they'll get to the end. And another thing, we didn't really mention this, but I do want to speak to this, is try to keep your videos short when you do them for YouTube. We've looked at our analytics, and when we get into like the 9 and 10 minute mark, people start dropping off. It doesn't matter what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But if we keep them in the 5 to 7 minute range, our engagement's through the roof. People watch all the way to the end.
Yep. That's true. People just enjoy quick, easy to consume content. So the shorter, the better. Keep it to the point. Unless your audience has already been trained to watch very long videos. The important thing is that you want people to get the important stuff in your message. So, in fact, this is something that I didn't bring up, and I'm going to. Everybody thinks that you should end your video with a call to action, and you absolutely should, but you should also start it with a call to action. You know, introduce the topic, who you are, whatever. You don't even have to be like, hi, I'm Erin, or hi, I'm whoever I am, because nobody cares who you are. That's just a sad truth. Nobody cares. They care about the content. You can say, we're going to be talking about stuff and things today. But before we dig into that, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. And people will do it. Or if you want them to sign up for your mailing list or something, you can tell them, before we dig in, sign up here to get XYZ, whatever opt-in you're offering. That is going to be a very powerful thing, because people do drop off at the end. So give them that call to action at the beginning.
Francis has a good question. So you think IGTV is trying to compete with YouTube, or be the easy to use, don't need to edit videos version of YouTube?
Okay, so given the fact that Instagram is owned by Facebook and Facebook is competing with everything, yes, I do think that Instagram is probably trying to compete with YouTube in a way. It is not, this is the thing. A lot of people think that that IGTV is going to be the easy to use, don't need to edit thing, and it doesn't have to be. But I've already been watching IGTV, and the people that are on there already, they're editing. They're filming specific videos for IGTV, and they're editing them so that they look professional.
Natalie Frank just did that on her Instagram stories today.
Yep, she just did it today. The thing about the IGTV is that they introduced this to the popular, the like popular vloggers, the popular young YouTubers that are out there making like buco money. And those people are already using it to its fullest. Okay. They're very early adopters of it. So if you are interested in being an early adopter and you're interested in riding that wave, now is a good time to do it. And I would definitely tackle it in the best way that you can. If you feel like doing it live is going to work best for you, do it live and put it on your channel. But the important thing is use it. If Instagram is your place and that's where your people are, use it.
I'm struggling with that. Because I love Instagram, and that's definitely where our people are, but yeah. I don't need one more thing to do.
I got to admit, I have had so many thoughts since I had people send me messages going, can you do a video on all your animals? I laughed and said, I'm going to end up being like a pet tuber or something, the way people ask about, but I was like, I don't need another YouTube channel. And then IGTV came out, and the kids were like, oh, Mom, why don't you do that for all your animals? And I was like,
I feel like Instagram, I feel like IGTV is a little less structured than you need to be on YouTube because YouTube is owned by Google. I feel like you need to have, and we've talked about this before, Erin, but you need to have kind of a schedule. Like you're going to put all of your YouTube videos out every Monday at 8 a.m. or whatever. Yeah. IGTV is more forgiving. So it can kind of be on a whim or when you have time kind of thing because there's no SEO behind it. It's just really not when people see that you've posted something.
Yeah.
So I do like it in that regard. But if you're already doing videos for YouTube, just repurpose them to IGTV.
Yeah, do it. If you're not doing, now here is one thing I'll say for IGTV versus YouTube. If you haven't started video yet, start with IGTV because not everybody is over there yet. So it's going to be a lot less scary and it is going to be a lot more forgiving than YouTube is. Now, I'm not saying YouTube is a big, scary place, but comparatively, Instagram is smaller than YouTube, you know, and it's going to be a place. I have noticed that there are people who are just posting their Instagram lives and they're full of stutters and stumbles and them walking around and wind in the microphone. So this is a great place for you to practice. But I've said this before, Instagram itself is a great place to practice. If you are new in front of the camera, use Instagram stories. It's a great way to just get yourself, you know, accustomed to talking to yourself.
Yep. I do love Instagram stories. That's one of my favorite things.
I love it.
I post there every day, but I do post quite often to my stories.
Yeah. I love it too. I think I'm scaring all my fans off or all my followers off or whatever, but
with your bugs and your lizards.
With my bugs and my lizards and all the random crap I have in my house. So, but that's okay. I'm 32. My goal this year is to be like 100% authentic to myself and not cater everything to everybody else.
Good job.
That's my goal.
High five.
There we go.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I'm not seeing any other questions pop on, so I think we are done. This was awesome. It was another 2 solid hours of training. We did that 2 months ago, and
yeah,
just good stuff. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you're watching the replay and have questions about anything that we've talked about, please be sure to leave a comment, and we will do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. We do want to say this. Erin and I have been talking a lot about Dollar Boss Club and how it's been going. And we've been listening to your feedback and reading our analytics and all of that stuff. And we have decided that we are going to pause Dollar Boss Club for the month of July. So you will not be charged on the first of the month. I'm going to go in on Friday and pause it. You'll still be able to get in and see all of the content, but we're not going to add anything new in July. So no workbook. No additional trainings next month. And again, you will not be charged for next month. So don't worry about that. We are reassessing how we're doing things based on feedback we've received from you guys. So we're going to take July to really kind of dig in and figure out how we can best serve you and of course still be a profitable business, because we can't do what we do for free. So, you know, we want to make sure that we're serving everyone as best as we can. And also I'm moving next week, so things are kind of chaotic for me right now, and it's just really difficult for me to focus in on creating another training next month after just getting settled into a new house. So that definitely played a part in it. But we would love to hear your feedback as far as what you feel like you would love to have from us as far as a membership community type thing.
Absolutely.
Any feedback you can give to us, what you expect from a membership site, how you're enjoying Patreon or not enjoying Patreon, because we are looking at some other options. If we can simplify or streamline things, price points, anything like that, any feedback you can give us will be greatly appreciated, and we'll definitely take all of that into consideration. We are hopeful that by the end of July, we will have a new format in place for you guys so that we can kick off August with the next training and have everything kind of restructured a little bit so it'll better serve you. So that's our goal. We're gonna be doing a lot of behind the scenes work next month.
Yeah.
So we just wanted
I'm excited about it too.
I am too. I think we've learned a lot from doing 3 months of Dollar Boss Club on Patreon. And I don't know that this is the best platform for what we're trying to do. So we're probably going to end up moving it to another platform. We're just trying to make sure that we streamline that as much as possible.
It's got to be the right one.
Yeah.
And if you guys, like, seriously, we want to make this the best community possible for you guys. So if you have suggestions, thoughts, concerns, anything that you want to see, please let us know. We will most likely be sending out a survey at some point in the next couple of weeks. But before then, if you want to reach out to us, you are welcome to email us, send us private messages. Email is the best way to do it. You can send an email to info@withwitandwisdom.co. But we're going to take everything into consideration. Everything. We want to make sure that this is your place to be. This is about you guys.
Yep. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. And I hope you really did enjoy this training. It was fun for us. We love talking about video.
So talk about video all day.
And when you do get your YouTube channel up and running and you create those videos, share them with us, please, because I want to share you on for sure.
Yeah. For sure. Share with us. Let us know.
So have a great night, guys. Enjoy your summer, and we will be back in August.
Bye.